FlossTube, how are you? Remember me? This is Colleen of Rebel Stitcher Designs, joined by my assistant in training, Finley. Look at how big he has gotten. He's up to a whopping 19 pounds now. So he's growing up to be a big boy. This is FlossTube number 114. It has been ages since I last filmed a FlossTube. Hopefully I remember how to do it. I don't think I have filmed anything since post-market, so my apologies. Things have just been really crazy at home. Let's see. I will try to stay on task as much as possible. I do have some notes down here, so if I seem to be looking down, that's why. I'll try to keep my family personal updates to a minimum. Since we last I did a video, I took Walker to nationals for USA Gymnastics in Daytona, Florida. It was a great honor, and it was great to see him do that and compete at the highest level. My wife Nicole had her knee replacement surgery on her other knee, so now she has a matching set. And she's been recovering pretty good with that, but things have just been crazy at home with helping Nicole recover and end of the year stuff with the kids and, you know, just business stuff for me. So things have just been super busy. I will try to keep this video as short as possible and still cover things. I don't want it to be like Dances with Wolves long. You know, nobody has time to sit through that, nor do I want to talk that long. To Tonk, if anybody remembers. That's the only thing I remember about that movie. Let's see, what else? I guess our entire house has been consumed by women's basketball. We started with the NCAA college tournament. Nicole really couldn't do a lot at that time with her knee leading up to surgery, so we were fully invested in that. And I guess I should back up. I don't know if I even said this. This is going to be the most scattered video. I'm so sorry, but I'm not restarting. I'm just getting it done, or it'll never happen. So please bear with me. Nicole played college basketball. She was a starting point guard for Tulane back in the basketball stone ages, because we're old ladies now. And she had a free college education, but she has paid for it with her body. So 2 knee replacements and ton of back pain and other stuff later. But, you know, nothing's for free, huh? So anyway, speaking of basketball, I had a basketball, probably like a Brittany Griner t-shirt or something on it, StitchCon, and Teresa from Needle Bling Design saw me, and so every time we saw each other, we would talk about, you know, the WNBA and stuff that's going on. She's a huge Caitlin Clark fan, and she keeps wanting me to make number 22, which is her number, or like Caitlin Clark needle minders, and I was like, I just feel kind of icky about that, because I don't really want to make money off of somebody else's likeness or image or jersey. I mean, luckily Caitlin Clark is one of the lucky people in the league who has a lot of endorsements, and that's where players make their money, not their salary. As I've talked about before, the disparity between what the women and the men make between the WNBA and the NBA is just insane. But hopefully with all this buzz that's been happening with this crop of freshmen rookies from college that came in, hopefully the players can use that to renegotiate better parity of the profits, because the profits are booming this year. But anyway, I don't know how to do it. I'm obsessed with women's basketball. As you could tell, Diana Taurasi is 42 years old and still kicking ass in the league. I don't know how to make a needle minder or a chart or something like that without feeling like I'm capitalizing on it. You know, it's just, I don't know, I can't figure it out. If you guys have suggestions, let me know. Let's see, school is almost over for my kids. This is the last week. They only have a couple more days. This Sunday, I am leaving to take Walker on a college tour. We're going up to the University of Maine. They are interested in him for diving, so we're going to take a campus tour and meet with the colleges. I think that's basically going to be the theme of this summer, is hitting college tours for Walker. Shit is getting real, and I'm not ready for it. He's our oldest, so this is all new for us. Let's see, what else? This is not going to be a StitchCon. I did just go to StitchCon, but this is not going to be a StitchCon update recap kind of video. I have so much stuff to cover because it's been so long. If I did that too, this would just be ridiculously long. So I will mention StitchCon as it applies to certain things, but like, I'm not going to show all the things that people have given me or that I purchased at StitchCon. Hopefully, if I have time in a day or so, I will do a separate StitchCon recap video. Fingers crossed, that's my intentions, but no promises. So I just want to let you know this is not a recap video, but I will be mentioning some of my experiences there. That being said, I did pick up some very exciting finishes while I was at StitchCon, because it's been so long since my last video that I finished things, sent them to a finisher, they were finished, and I picked them up. So you didn't even see them when they were finished, but now they're fully finished. So let me show you what I have here. The first two are from Halloween charts from Not Forgotten Farm. I don't have the little charts in front of me, but I was having trouble kind of getting my stitchy mojo was kind of off, and I just couldn't find anything that I could settle on just because life was so frantic. I just couldn't. I'd pick up something to stitch and I was like, nah, I'm not feeling it, put it away, and I just didn't really have my mojo. But these, I did a new start, and these kind of helped me get my stitchy mojo back. They're older charts, and this one is like an amalgamation of different elements that I just kind of did my own thing. But the first one is this witch, and I believe I just pulled my own colors and did my own thing, and they're just finished as a little pillow. And please, my fingers are grosser than normal because I've been doing a lot of yard work. I'm really like an anxious person, and I pick at my nails and bite them. And then with the blood thinner I'm on, it just makes it even uglier. And so, but I'm doing a lot of gardening lately, so they're even worse, so I apologize. And then this one, I just love this little pillow with this funky cat and these jack-o'-lantern vein. Same finish on the back with this little tiny rickrack. Jan, my friend, did these, and they're just amazing. I can't wait to put these out for Halloween this year. Just stunning as always. So those are my first FFOs, or fully finished object. The other one is my back in 2022, I think, my friend, my stitchy bestie Susie, and I went to StitchCon together, and she had never been to that area, so we made a little trip up to the craft gallery in Findlay, Ohio, and we each bought this chart, which of course I don't have the chart in front of me, but it's a Teresa Kogut snowman, and it has like alphabets behind it, but I wanted to do him as a stand-up and get rid of all that extraneous stuff, and this is, I think, my own color conversion. But I finally finished him. We started this as a StitchCon start, and then Jan fully finished him. Look at that. Look at the way she did that. Is he not the cutest little snowman? Finley clearly is not impressed. And then Jan just put this fabric on the back with the little X's, and he stands up. Just adorable. I love this little guy. I'm so happy to finally have him done. I can put him out in the winter, and he's just adorable. I think this was an X-Jew fabric, maybe 18 count, and I stitched it with 2 stitches because I wanted a 2 threads because I wanted a really good coverage. So that's that finish. Epic. And then every Susie that I spoke about before is my stitching bestie, and we're also birthday twins, so we always do a we've been for the last few years been doing a birthday sal when we select one of the Stacy Nash Animal Cracker series. We started with P-Roy the Slug, we did Henrietta the Chicken, and this past year she picked Humphrey the Elephant, and I made some changes to him. I just picked my own colors, and here he is. Isn't he amazing? And there's the fabric on the back. I just love him. So what I did, this is stitched on 16. I think I'm stitching them all on 16 count. So this is 16 count Regency by Picture This Plus. And then somebody had asked me what the changes I had made. I'd gotten an email the other day, and I did get back to her, but in case anybody else is looking, the chart calls for like a blue and cream striped shirt. I was not going to sit and count all that out. So what I did is I used cornflower from Cottage Garden Thread, and I just stitched the shirt like that. It has a very sweatery feel to me, so that's what I did, and I think it came out great, and it was a heck of a lot easier. And then his kind of elephant skin there is Page Turner by Cottage Garden Floss, and I think this is River Rocks, and then I picked a pink, I don't remember. Oh, the pink is Rose Petal by Classic Colorworks. So that's how I did him. I love it. Jan finished it. Now he's gonna go sit up in my office next to my other animal crackers, which I love. So yay, Humphrey is finished. So those were the finishes, or FFOs, that I picked up, but I did actually have some finishing. Maggie May was from Stacy Nash, from the new Animal Cracker series that she released, the 3, the squirrel, the little mouse on the spool, and Maggie May the bunny at Market. And I mean, each one of those was stellar, cuter than the next, but Susie and I decided to do the bunny, Maggie May. And I have a story for you on this one. I finished it at StitchCon, and I will try to, I'm doing this so I see it, to insert a picture of it, because as soon as I finished it, I just gave it to Jan and asked her to finish it, you know, put it in my pile of things to fully finish for me. So I don't have it here to show you, but I'll hopefully insert a picture. Anyway, my story about that chart is Stacy Nash calls for weak stye works. That's what she charted it in. And the dress on the bunny says Confederate gray on there. And let me back up a little bit. Well, anyway, so I go on 1, 2, 3 stitch, and I go to chart up, or kit up, not chart up, kit up, that, because I don't carry weeks. And I really liked the way she looked on the thing, so it's like, I'll do it as is. And then I typed in gray, and instead of Confederate gray, it just said gray on 1, 2, 3 stitch. So I ordered it thinking, okay, great. Because back in 2021, a lot of floss tubers and designers and stitchers raised an argument that this is not okay to use the word Confederate gray to describe a color. And there was a lot of activism to try to ask Weeks to make the change. To my recollection, that was 2021, and Weeks agreed to change the color. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is my memory. I have had like 5 strokes, so maybe I'm a little off here. But, and before I hear the backlash that it's just a name, it's just a color, blah, blah, blah. Is it though? Is it really just a name? Because we don't have we don't name anything like Third Reich Red, right? To glorify Nazis. I mean, Germany doesn't have statues of Dr. Mengele in town squares. So I'm not saying we need to erase our history or forget our history, but there's a difference between remembering and learning from it and glorifying it. And to me, naming something after it is kind of in the glorifying category. So anyway, I go backstory. That's my 2 cents. I'm on 1, 2, 3 stitch. I order the gray because it didn't say Confederate gray. I got my order in and the label says Confederate gray. And I'm like, what the heck is this? I got bait and switched, you know? But so then I sat like, well, what do I do now? I was like, well, you already spent the money. You already supported it. You might as well use the damn floss. So I stitched the bunny. I'm at StitchCon. I have 1 row and a half left of the dress to finish, and I ran out of floss. So they have a service where if you need something, they'll get it from the store and bring it back to you, blah, blah, blah. So I did that, and I'm picking it up and I'm waiting in line to pay for it. And I feel like I'm ashamed almost to be standing there in line to pay for this floss. Like, me of all people, I have something called Confederate in my hand. So, and of course, who was behind me in line to pay for it but Deb from Stitches of Heritage, which is, you know, who I adore and model stitched some things for me. And I was just super happy to connect with her. And Bobby from Pumpkin Creek Primitive. Now the 3 of us are in the same mindset politically with things like that. So I was like, ladies, I need to confess my dirty little secret. Look at what I'm buying. And they were dying laughing. And I had to explain the story that, you know, I got bait and switched and I just need to finish this project, blah, blah, blah. But we got back to talking. Like, if we remember correctly, this was 2021. It is now 2024. That is more than sufficient amount of time for Weeks to make the transition to new cards and stuff. And it's not like I went to some small, apparently somebody's getting very comfortable. It's not like I went to some small mom and pop shop that doesn't have turnover and maybe it was old stock. This was 1, 2, 3 Stitch and Keepsakes. We know those 2 places sell a lot of floss. So I don't know why the cards still say that. We looked, and on Hoffman Distributor, they listed as Confederate gray because that's what it's called. 1, 2, 3 Stitch just listed it as gray. It's almost as if Weeks is playing both sides of the fence, not wanting to piss anybody off, but in actuality, they're pissing everybody off. So I wrote them an email to said, you know, this was my recollection that you were changing this. It's still Confederate. Could you please clarify your intentions with the name of this floss? Like, where do we stand? They haven't responded. So if anybody has any further info that I'm not aware of, I would greatly appreciate it. But yeah, that's where I stand. So I did finish Maggie May. It is with a dirty little secret of Confederate gray. I will not be purchasing it again unless they, there's a neighbor cutting down trees. And so if you hear all this like chainsaw and crashing, that's what it is. Anyway, so that's what happened with that. Long story, but I don't understand what's going on with that. My other finish was a very old whip of mine, and it's from Cottage Garden Samplings called Witchboard. I stitched this, started stitching this ages ago, and I got to a point and I just never finished it. I kind of put it down and just never went back. So let me show you where I did kind of finish it. I ran out of floss and I decided it is what it is, but let me show you. So I've had this whip for so long, but I wanted to finish it as an actual Ouija board, and I bought this planchette to go with it. I can't believe I haven't lost this all these years later. So it's been living in this project bag. Anyway, this was my finish. The reason why I say it's kind of finished is there is more kind of this doodad stuff down there, but I ran out of floss and I made do, and I think it's good enough. If I didn't tell you, you would think that was done, right? Hopefully, yes. No, maybe so. I made some changes to it. This tree was solid the whole way down, and it just seemed too much the same color, so I just broke it up with these little kind of veins in the tree. But I think this is super cute, and I finished it. And I'm gonna finish it like on a board and make it like a Ouija board, and I'll put it out for Halloween. So I think this is pretty cute, and it feels good to have something, a very old whip that's been languishing, finished. So technically I did finish 2 things at StitchCon. I just have one that I can show you. And that's that. I have some shop news, and then I'll get into haul, stitchy kindness. Oh, and a new segment, if you will, that I'm still playing around with names, but basically, what freaky things did Colleen find at an antique store? Anyway, shop news. I made the announcement on Instagram yesterday that I am going to have to raise my prices on my needle minders. I have not made this decision lightly. I have been putting it off forever. I've never raised prices on my needle minders since I started making them years ago. However, my material costs keep going up and up and up. And unfortunately, I can't. I should have made this decision a while ago, but I've been holding off because I hate to do that, because we all are feeling it, and I just hate to be that person, you know. But as of July 1st, all of my enamel needle minders are going up by $1. So they'll be $12. I mean, it's nothing catastrophic. It's just, I just need to cover my material costs, prices that have gone up. The good news about that is Hoffman, the distributor, has been carrying, since market, almost my full line of needle minders, and selling through them like crazy. So that's really fun. So if your LNS orders from Hoffman, they can order my needle minders. I mean, they can order them directly from me. You can order them directly from me on my website, rebelstitcher.com. But I know a lot of shops, it's just like so convenient for like one-stop shopping with like Hoffman or a distributor like that. So if you're looking for one, you know, you could tell your LNS, oh, I want the FlossTube or Bigfoot or whatever, you know. So that's cool. I'm still running the Cottage Garden Thread bi-monthly club. I've gotten a couple emails about that. Just send me an email. My email will be in the description box below. The little thing you click and it drops down. I'll have info about this FlossTube. It is a bi-monthly club. I mean, every other month, and you get 4 skeins of Cottage Garden floss and a sticker mailed to you. And then a quarterly club, you can still, both these clubs you can still sign up for. You just have to send me an email to get on the list. And the quarterly club is a brand new enamel needle minder that I design, a pack of curated stickers, and 1 or 2 little stitchy items added in. This next one that's coming up is 80s theme. I usually don't tell the theme, but I'm just like so enjoying putting the 80s theme together that So if you would like to join either one of those clubs, send me an email, and I will do my best to get you on the list. And the last, let's see, Sweater Weather is the retreat that I put on in Philly last year. I'm doing it again this year. It's October 25th through the 27th. If you would, I do have a couple spots because of schedule changes and cancellations and stuff. Not many, but I do have a few. So if you would like to register for the retreat, it is in on my website. There's a Sweater Weather tab, and you can join there. And then once you join, I'll send you a link to the discounted room rate. But if you are thinking about joining, don't sleep on it, because the discounted room rate is going to expire soon. So I want you to get that discounted rate because the hotel is so nice, and the discount is good. Let's see. Sorry, I've got so many notes here. What else? Can you hear me over the snoring? I'm also putting the finishing touches on 4 new releases that I will have coming out the end of the summer. Needlework Marketplace is that virtual, it's like Market but online. Nobody, you know, where shops buy wholesale from designers. So I have 4 new charts coming out for that. 2 are at the printer I have to go pick up after this, and 2 more I'm still putting the finishing touches, just proofing the charts and stuff. So those should be out soon. I've been putting a few sneak peeks out on Instagram and social media, so hopefully you've been seeing that. I can't wait to show you what I've been up to. And then I guess I've got some haul and stitchy kindness, and also like weird things I've bought at the antique store. So I don't know what you want to do first. You want to do weird stuff and then haul and stitchy kindness? Okay, when I can, I go to antique stores, thrift stores, things like that, and whatever is weird and quirky and catches my eye, a lot of times I either buy or take pictures of, because the way I design is things kind of marinate in my strange little brain, and then boom, you have something, right? So I was in Lancaster area for a while for something for Nicole's work, and I had time by myself and tooled around some quilt shops and some antique stores and things like that. And the first thing I bought, this is an egg cup, and like you'd put an egg in there, and it's like this baby bird busting out of an egg. I was like, oh, this has to be, I need to make this a chart. This needs to be an Easter chart. So that is my first what weird things did Colleen buy at the antique store. Running out of room to put things. At that same antique store, they had somebody that was selling a lot of like antique textiles and quilts and things like that. And I've always loved crazy quilts. If I was ever to quilt, which I have no skill or ability, I feel like that would be what I would want to do, because it's kind of the way my brain works. It's just all kinds of random pieces. And so there was a dealer that was selling, now crazy quilts can be super expensive. There were pieces of them. Oh, this is, hold on. This is, take this little tag off there. So this was one, and it's kind of got this little binding around, and it's almost like a placemat or like a table runner. I love it. And you could see the little spots where they kind of embellished it. Super, super cute. And this is the back. So I couldn't sleep on this. So I brought that home. If nothing else, I might use it as like a background for, you have to kind of stage things for photographs with charts. I mean, if it's not too busy. And then I saw this one. Now this one isn't backed on the back. It looks like a quilt somebody actually cut. But this one, I'm trying to back up so you can see the whole thing, is truly stunning. Look at that flower in there and all that stitch work. I just try to get close there so you could see some of that. So this is just, I might hang this up in my office. I'm not sure. Because like I said, it is just somebody unfortunately took a quilt and cut it in pieces. But they're both antique, and I very much, like, look at that, umbrellas. I mean, just so cool. Oh, here's a flag. You see the flag? I mean, the embellishments on here, the extra stitching the stitcher added. Love it. So fun. Okay. So that really wasn't weird or creepy, but it was bizarre. I mean, but it was beautiful. Then when we were in Cincinnati, I drove up with my friend Jen, and she had never been to Jungle Jim's, which if you're from Cincinnati, you know, if you're visiting, you have to go there. And on the same road as Jungle Jim's is this huge antique store I used to go to all the time when I lived there. And so I was like, oh, let's stop in there. And this place is huge. You could spend all day there. But I did find a couple little items. The first, look at this. It's like a glass French bulldog with, look at those eyes. Can you see that? They're like faceted glass purple eyes. They remind me of, you know, in Jungle Book when the snake is trying to like put a spell on Mowgli. It kind of reminds me of that. Oh, do you see him? You see the Frenchie? You like him? So I just couldn't resist this. A whole $3. Everybody in my family thinks it's creepy, but whatever. And then I saw this one shop or stall had a whole bunch of antique Valentines. And I just love this one. Look at that little monkey. It says, "Don't monkey around, be my Valentine." So I thought that was cute. And actually I only bought it for this one, but on the back is another one. It said, "Would live happily ever after if you will be my Valentine." But I bought it for the monkey. This was like a whole $1. And then to me, the piece de resistance, and this will be a chart down the line, because how could it not be? Do you see that? That is a frog with a parasol, plaid underpants, and boots on. I mean, this is just, I'm trying to tilt it so there's no glare on the glass. There we go. I mean, if that's not screaming to be a chart, I don't know what is. Who doesn't need a frog or a toad? I think that's a frog. In underwear with boots and a parasol. I know I need one. And again, this was like a whole $3 or $4. So I come home with weird stuff and my family just rolls their eyes and is like, and Nicole says, "Put it in your office. I don't want to see it. All your weird stuff." So those were my gems I found while out looking in antiques and thrift stores. If you guys like that sort of thing, maybe I'll add a little segment. Not that I go all the time, because just when my schedule allows, or if I'm visiting somewhere. So that's that. And then let me show you my haul in Stitchy Kindness. Again, this is not StitchCon Stitchy Kindness. This is stuff I've had here before I went to StitchCon that I've been meaning to. Oh, this sleepy boy. Oh. You could be like, why do you have this dead dog sleeping on you? Look at him. Here, let me move you so I can reach over here. This is the haul in Stitchy Kindness I have had since before StitchCon. The first from my dear friend Jen of Jasmine Custom Bags. She sent me this little mini project bag, and look at this fabric. It's just so cool. It says like engage like Stacey Abrams, give like Dolly Parton, unite like Kamala Harris, analyze like Ada Lovelace. I mean, it's just all these women, you know, create like Frida Kahlo, free like Harriet Tubman. I mean, she said she saw this fabric and just thought of me, and so I appreciate it, Genevieve. Oh, and she put green fabric inside because that's my favorite color. Let's see. amazing. Thank you, Jen. So cool. I love it. Oh, I didn't notice that. Riot, like Marsha P. Washington. So since it is Pride Month, that is an important one right there. So, oh, that's Megan Rapinoe, but it's cut off. Who is married to Sue Bird, a basketball legend. See, it's all full circle. I didn't notice all of those people. Super cool. Super cool. Thank you, Genevieve. Obviously, I love that. The other piece of stitchy kindness I got is, I'm going to take it out of this little package. This maker had a trunk show at Sweater Weather last, in fall, in October, and her stuff sold like crazy. I've used her in the past for some items, not used her, but I don't know, procured her wares for some boxes and some other things I have done in the past. And I love her work. But she had this, there's something that's coming up that's going to have some of her things in it. And I said, we were talking about a trunk show. And I said, when you do, can you send an extra one of these? Because I wanted to buy it at Sweater Weather, but I didn't. And then they all sold out. So she makes these needle cases. So this is wooden and engraved. And this just slides. And there's needle magnets in there for your needles, but this just clips on and you could just slide it like that. Oh, there goes the tree. Anyway, anti-social butterfly. I have never felt more seen in my life. That is so me. I hate people, but I really like the people that I jive with. So like, I'm not really good at small talk. I'm not very sociable. So anti-social butterfly, that is me. And so she sent this to me just as a gift. So her name is April Croston Stitches US. She has an Etsy store. I will try to put her little information in the drop down thing, but if you're coming to Sweater Weather, she's going to send another trunk show. So I'm going to just put that right there. She's sending another trunk show this year because her stuff was gobbled up because it's different and cool and super well made. So thank you, April. And then the last little piece of haul, I have been on a mission to find this chart. More story. Oh my gosh, 37 minutes. Okay. I learned to stitch when I was like maybe middle school age-ish. I lived in a little town in New Jersey, and on Main Street, it's like all these little Victorian Victorian homes, and they were converted into shops. And there was one back in the day that sold cross stitch, and it was all like a lot heavy dimensions kits and stuff like that. But upstairs they had lessons, and you could take a class to learn how to cross stitch, and I did, and I stitched some weird dog. It was not a weird dog, it just came out weird because I counted wrong. And so after that I started stitching, and I stitched something for my parents, and it stayed above their bed forever. And I always kind of liked it, but never really thought much of it. And after my mom died and my dad moved, and I don't even think it exists anymore. My dad, I don't think he kept it. So years ago, I was in Keepsakes, and I saw, they're reproducing this, and I saw this chart, and I was like, oh my God, that's the chart I stitched for my parents when I was a kid. Now, it was probably a new release then. It's book number 35 from the Prairie Schooler. It's called A Prairie Garden. Now, I didn't stitch all these flowers. I kind of picked my favorites, and I think I did a 3x3. And I have, ever since then, I've been on a mission to find this chart on cardstock. A friend was kind enough to send me her, the reprint that's just on regular paper, but I've been on a mission to find this because I have said it a million times. I love Prairie Schooler. It's my comfort stitching. But before I knew anything, and I was a kid and a brand new stitcher, I still gravitated to Prairie Schooler. And I just think that's crazy, and I love it, and I'm so here for it. And I'm going to stitch this for myself. And so I brought this with me because I thought maybe I would stitch it at StitchCon, but I don't really want to show you the whole chart, but I'll just show you some of it. It's the grid is super small, and I'm going to need to blow it up. So obviously my 12-year-old eyes were a lot better than my 49-year-old eyes. So I'm going to need to blow it up a little bit for stitching purposes. But I did find, this is a half yard of, it's called Intense 20 count from Fortnite Fabrics. I have a whole bunch of Fortnite Fabrics, and I can't use it as a model for models because nobody can seem to get it anymore. So it's great for personal stitching. So I have this, and I bought all the DMC in here, but one or two that Joann's didn't have. So I was gonna start it, but I didn't. Oh, speaking of, another piece of Stitchy Kindness. So that is probably gonna be my new start once I get my act together and figure out how to blow up that chart. I guess I have to go to Staples or something. Another piece of Stitchy Kindness. I don't think I showed this before. Did I? If I did, I apologize. My friend Jen, who lives semi-locally, and she's also my friend that goes with me as my helper at Market. We always stop at Buc-ee's on our way to Market in Tennessee, and as a Yankee up here, I've never been to a Buc-ee's, and I was kind of blown away. And if you have not had, first of all, their mascot is a beaver. That alone cracks me up, and I'm here for it. But they have all kinds of funny products, and they have this one called Beaver Nuggets. That's what this looks like. I think they're like sweet corn nuts. I don't even know what the heck they are, but they're addictive. And so we always buy that. And Jen found pins and said, can you turn these into needle minders? So she bought one for her and one for me. So I was going to use my Beaver Nugget needle minder on my new Prairie Schooler start, but the Prairie Schooler start didn't happen. So that was my last piece of Stitchy Kindness / haul. I found the Prairie Schooler chart on a Stash Unload, which I have been stalking them, looking for that for years. Finally found it, and that's probably part of the reason why I have a Prairie Schooler addiction, because I've been buying all these original cardstock Prairie Schoolers that I'm finding on those Stash Unloads. I think that's everything. I think that's it. I'm trying to find my notes. Hopefully I can do a separate StitchCon wrap-up video. If not, I had good intentions. Give me credit for that. I think that's all that's going on. I feel like I'm rambling at this point, so we should just wrap this show along. So, Finley, you want to say goodbye to everybody? Come here. You say goodbye? Do you see that handsome boy there? Thank you for watching. There'll be information in the drop-down box of the things I mentioned. And I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Say bye, Finley. He's too sleepy for this.